Atochin chitab kalenjin en ketesiet noton neichome nebo Kass TV. Kokituye tuan logoiwekab emet cheitun en Kass TV choton chebo betutab raini. Kainenyu ko Shadrack Mutai. Koite kila kasitab somok inai ile tetutiet ko noton nebo Mungaret ak Pandaptai anan Biashara Wednesday. Ole en betutab raini kende keljin kemiten ak CPA Ruben Kuske. Inendet ko auditor ak kemoe kenai missing en ng'alekab lipanet noton nebo aisurut en emetab Kenya. Nan komiten wakat nekemwoe kele kwo barak missing aisurut neketile kobaten yoche keyai ne asikikoen kele tos chepkondok much ketil serikali komuch kotoret en oret ainon kabatik ak biikab emet komugul. Ngekustikan kora ng'alekab ng'atutik en emetab Kenya komiten en kibagenge ak Evans Kiptoo naat ko focus en meng'ik choton chebo county nebo Nakuru. Sikenai kora tos lene ng'atutik en tetutik Pandaptai chemiten en nguni. Kainenyu ko Shadrack Mutai, itagat en logoiwekab emet cheitun en ketesiet nebo Kass TV. Koikoito kurset koityi kiboitinik chebo serikali komuch koboisien komie chepkondok chebo serikali kosibgei ak Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi komwa kole bo komonut en kiboitinik tugul chebo serikali komuch kochigil oret neboisioito chepkondokwak.
Since the fund has a lifespan, we must use public resources and the limited time we have to invest in projects that will serve Kenyans in the marginalized areas for many years to come. CRA should also think of a threshold for a county to be categorized as marginalized. The administrative costs for implementing the fund may outstrip the benefits when marginal allocations are involved. We are all aware that the government is faced by revenue shortfalls, even as the National Treasury and Parliament put in place revenue-enhancing measures. In the face of these shortfalls, my administration, through the National Treasury, is committed to fully implement the plan that has been agreed upon by all parties to clear the arrears owed to the Equalization Fund. This will allow us to avail equal opportunities to all Kenyans, including those living in the marginalized areas. As we celebrate the full operationalization of Article 204, I want to laud the National Treasury and the Equalization Fund Advisory Board for launching the strategic plan today, through which we can hold the fund to account on delivery of the projects of Article 204 of the COK. I must emphasize that we are obligated to uphold transparency and accountability. In the implementation of the projects, Kenyans will be keenly monitoring the promises you have made in the strategic plan and will not hesitate to hold you to account on any failures. Finally, I invite all patriotic Kenyans to contribute in safeguarding the investments that we make with public resources. Let us all guard against plunder or vandalization of these projects so that our children can benefit from the services and put marginalization to the grave where it belongs. Kenyans, let us keep up the excellent work, selfless dedication, and invaluable contribution in our communities. I also want to ask Kenyans living in marginalized areas to embrace alternative mechanisms to address disputes that may arise in the implementation of the Equalization Fund. We have seen numerous litigations slow down the fund and delay the benefits that are due to these areas.
Kakelumda chogosiek chemuch koboisien kabatik en county nebo Uasin Gishu komuch konde ichek rurutikwak missing ko chebo bandek asikomuch koistoegei asenet nenyoru kabatik en kasarta age tugul nekakimuch kekes bandek en keberatan. Kosibgei gavana nebo county noton Jonathan Bichir komwa komonut noton en mwaet kole kiran konyor koimutik kabatik kotiengei ak nemuch kowechok bandekwak en kasarta age tugul nekakimuch kekes ak kealda kora en olyet nemiten ng'weny amun kimakoyamat ole kekonoren.
3 and go. Chokonoto naat ko Agrigala nemiten ngwony nebo tetutiet ne naat ko Agribora kotinye kamuget nebo kokonor bandek ak rirutik alak cheite tanisiek 500. Kit nekamwa kandoinatet nebo chokonoto kole nito ko kakwautiet neo nebo keker kele kakiterter asenet nekikotestai kobun kabatik en kasarta nekoi en eunekab chemung'arekab kwen anan brokers.
Yes, we are gathered here today to launch a key component of Agribora services for smallholder farmers, Agrigala, which is meant to provide safe storage and better prices for smallholder farmers who are going to be able to have access to a licensed warehouse through the Warehouse Receipt System Council to enable them anticipate better prices in the market. So we are very happy to have the county government, led by His Excellency the Governor, coming to launch this first of many warehouses today to make sure that the farmers get the impact of added value in the increase in profitability through the weighting that they're able to achieve and having access to safe storage.
Kosubkei ak nebo ng'echeret en warehouse receipt system en emoni Felicity Birir kokikobun temik en emoni kaimutik chechang mising ko en cheng'etab siret nebo rurutikwak. Kit nekamwa kole wendi noto koek walutiet neinegei en kaimutyonoto.
When we all harvest, the prices of our produce goes down, and after a few months the prices rise. So when you're able to store your food safely in a good store, you can be able to wait for prices to go up. You sell at that point, either at the commodity exchange or directly or to Agribora, because they can also buy from you, or even in the futures market. So we are working hard towards structuring commodity trade in Kenya, discovering the proper prices for farmers so that they are able to enjoy the work of their hands better. Because as you all know, our farmers have been working very hard and not necessarily getting value for what they spend their days doing in the fields.
En komostanyi komwa gavana nebo county nebo Uasin Gishu Jonathan B. Cherilim kole wendi tetutienoto kowole togetab kabatisiet en county nebo Uasin Gishu. Kit nekamach temik koityi kamanutiet neo.
This is a game changer to our farmers who have been experiencing a lot of post-harvest losses, and now there is an avenue where you can keep your maize at the same time until when the prices in such a way through the market will really come up. So as a farmer and as a champion in warehouse receipt system, I want to encourage farmers that this is the way to go. Not all farmers have stores to keep their maize. And you know, this maize at the time when we are harvesting, sometimes because of climate change, rain start beating around and it becomes another problem.
So today we had two commodity exchanges here. One was a spot exchange. A spot exchange is where you bring your product and you get paid there and then. The futures exchange is where you're able to get into a contract with a miller or with a buyer to buy your produce even 3 months from now. So you lock a price and you agree that you're going to buy at 4,000 in 3 months' time. So this applies in particular where you have contract farming. So you're able to get the farmers to work knowing how much they're going to get from their produce if they deliver as agreed with the commodity exchange. So it all works to structuring the ecosystem, and we know that good times are ahead for the farmers.
Kong'eten kanaset neo nebo Eldoret en county nebo Uasin Gishu, logoiwekab emet chebo Cast TV, kanenyu ko Timothy Kiplimo.
Kakikoito kurset koit serikali komuch kowong tekset noton nebo sukulitab barak nebo Samoei University nemiten en county nebo Nandi. Kosubkei kondo komwa kole niton ko kasarta nenen komuch kowong serikalit noton nebo Kenya Kwanza sukulit noton bo barak namuch kotestai koib kasarta nekoi kimuch ketech ak kiwong.
Kong'ololchin sirikab logoiwek eng taonitab Kapsabet komwa kandoichotok bo kibagengeitab Kenya National Union of Teachers eng county nebo Nandi kondochin National Trustee nebo NAT ako kora ko sirindet neo nebo konetik eng Nandi East ak Tinderet Boniface tenai kole tomo konai amune asikotomo kotestai teksetab University nebo Koitalel Samoei eng taonitab Nandi Hills nga kimwa serikali kole kikitobonchi chepkondok ole kasom Ministry nebo somanet ak kandoikab county nebo Nandi kochutyi asikoro kole katoigei teksetab University notok wendi kibwate orkoiyot Koitalel arap Samoei ngalek chikarobeut Josephat Serem nebo NAT mornetab Mosop.
Kiakonam kasitab teksetab university. Koroito nekiyaak kot kiro mashinishek kobendi kemboi ak kemeto ng'ung'unyek chekakebal netewernat amakararan koroito ing kotebenyo kotemene kele ne. Kasarta nemakat ketech koita lel Samoei University ko nguno, ngoma nguno ko nguno mising kimeche university noto ako mi uwezekano mi mbaret kilechini kikobwa chepkondok
keungan ngalab koita lel Samoei ketech university noto mi Nandi akoteka komye akeungan mkono kama wakaji wa hapa.
Kamwa naat secretary nebo aldai Kipyego Komisoi kole makoiyan keib mornok chebo universities alak kobwa county nebo Nandi amait ketoi university nebo Koitalel eng Nandi ole kasom kandoikab somanet kotakosub asikonai amune asikotomo kotestai university notok.
Kokimeche kesom kandoik tugul kokochi priority akot yocheng'e branches chebo university kokochi boroindo Koitalel University koker kole kakitech notok kotomo kubwa universities alake chebunu counties alak.
Kotinygei ak siretab konetik komwa naat secretary nebo Chesumei ak Nandi Central Bernard Mayo kole kikituptochi batai siretab konetik chebo P1 ak kounotok komache kibagengeit nesire konetik nebo Teacher Service Commission kotakosir konetikab P1 eng mwaet kole mi alake eng konetik che nekit koba retire amait kosir TSC.
Kufikia saizi wale wa P1 wengi wameupgrade. Lakini shida ambayo tunaye kwa wakati huu ni kwamba hao wamefika 44 years, wengine wamefika 45 years. Na ile umri ya kuajiri mtu ni 45 years. Sasa hao ambao wamekatazwa nafasi ya kuajiriwa kwa wakati, wataenda wapi? So tunaomba TSC yetu i-consider P1 teachers especially on age factor, wala asa wala ambao wamefika 45 years waajiriwe as we wait for the other recruitment.
The P1s are languishing. The art teachers are also languishing. We advise TSC to make sure that every time there is employment vacancy, it is all inclusive. Because all teachers are the same. Like my brother Mayua said, we have teachers who have trained and are due for retirement without employment. Sure. That is a very big shame.
Kong'ete taonitab Kapsabet eng county nebo Nandi, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyu ko Cornelius Keter.
Wendi konyoru chong'indab meng'ik chebo county nebo Kericho kimnatet noton nebo stimet kosubkei ak neimuch koityin konyinet serikalit noton nebo county nebo Kericho eng kibagenge ak kampunit noton netinyegei ak koritoet noton nebo stimet nebo Rerek.
Kong'ololjin sirikab logoiwek kasarta nekainde siet boisietab kibagenge serikalitab county nebo Kericho ak kibagengeit netinyegei ak roptaetab stimet nebo Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Cooperation Rerek en emoni, komwa gavana nebo county nebo Kericho Dr. Eric Mutai kole takyinkei noton roptaetab stimet en kokwotinwek asikotoret biikab emet konyor stimet mising ko keboisien kimnatetab asista.
Kingen en Kericho kele tokomi komoswek chetomo stimet. Ko en betutab ra kokosibgei ak agenda nenyon president koyai ichek county government nebo Kericho ko kakimuch keib agenge en counties chenekit 17 chekokosainen agreement asikobit keib sitimet koba korikyok ak ketoret biik akoi gaa resop olino konyor sitimet ak ketoret biik en ndonyo keboisien sitimet noton ko solait, keboisien sitimet nebo solait. Kingen anan besho ketinye shidaishek mara kalya sitimet.
Kosubkei ak gavana Mutai kotakyinkei nguni siroshek en komoswek cheterter en county nebo Kericho kinde sola asikotoret en yaetab boisietab mung'aret ole kiboisien rabisiek cheite shilingishek milionishek 60 kokoituyokei county nebo Kericho ak Rerek.
Lakini ra kokakib kakwautiet nekibendi kenome ndonyoishekyok chekitinye cheechen ak chemengech en kokwotinwek ak wardishekyok kendechin sitimet anan keboisien solaishek en ndonyo noton chen atkai tugul kakiboisien asista asikobit kokweny ndonyo anan likei mung'aroshekyok. So kakisainen agreement nebo silingishek 30 million. Kokangekonu county silingishek 30 million kokonech akichek Rerek 30 million. Ko in total ko silingishek 60 million tugul.
Kosubkei ak ofisiyat neo en Rerek en emoni Dr. Rose Mkalama kotesetai kibagengenoton koibu walet en emoni kobun kokoitoetab kimnatetab stimet ak sola.
Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation, that is Rerek, operates in the 290 constituencies across the country and in the 47 counties, Kericho being one of them. Our greatest financier for the projects that we do is the government of Kenya, and that is really a big deal because out of 100%, 85% of the financing of rural electrification projects is done by the government. Only 15% comes from donor funding. And therefore you see there's a deliberate effort by the national government to ensure that we electrify rural areas.
Kamwa Dr. Rose kole kikotesentai boisietab kibagenge ak constituencies cheite 75 en emet koboisien kibagenge ak legutab National Government Constituency Development Fund NGCDF.
So far we have done 75 constituencies, and even with them we are urging even the ones who have not been able to collaborate with us to please come, because this is one way that you can be able to be sure that we shall reach all the Kenyans across the country. We are very proud that today we stand here to sign this collaboration agreement with the county of Kericho, because we know together we are going to reach even those areas that Your Excellency has talked about.
Kamwa afisandet noton kole kitou committee nechigili kosuldaen boisionik choton en county nebo Kericho asikotestai en oret nekararan.
We shall together form a technical team that is going to ensure that we identify projects properly and that those projects are done within one financial year, so that then even reporting and transparency in the manner in which we implement our projects is clear. We also want to indicate that even as we work with the county governments, we also work very closely with members of parliament, because they represent the national government. They also have projects that are funded under the exchequer and the national government. And therefore, as we identify the projects for the county, we shall be isolating them from the ones of national government.
Kongeten county nebo Kericho, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Robert Siele.
Logoiwek chemiachen en meng'ik chebo county nebo Kericho. Kibe county nekityin nebo Bomet kokoita kurset en meng'ik ak missing ko sigik en county noton komuch korib icheket lagokwak en kasarta nemiten barak ropta kotiengei ak mwaat kele imuch kobit koimutik.
County ko Stanley Mutai Disaster Management Officer Bomet County kosibgei ak ropta netesetai en nguni kemoche kora sikemwoen biikab boror kostoengei nyasutik chetam kebaorionjin en kasarwek cheu chutet chemiten robwek ak kemoche kesom biikab boror kele kosib onyo notet amun en kasari kekere kele miten robwek chetesetai ak kekere kele kai tugul yon miten robwek komuche konyi etiosiek anan komiten kobutok etiosiek en kokwotinwekyok anan konyi silangoshek. En kasari kora komiten lagok gaa kemoche kora sikemwochin sigik kele ongerib lagok en kasarwek cheu chutet amun kakonam igorwek chebo Christmas ko chang tuguk chetesetai en kokwotinwekyok niton kora kimuche miten silanget agenge anan oret agenge nemiten en komosin bo Kipsonoi neyoton nekonektoni kokwet nekibore Lebekwet ak Bisorwet. Kemoche kemwoen biikab kokwonotet kelenji ongeribgei amun kokobutok etionotet ne en kasarta age tugul kebaorionjin nyasutiet nemuche kobit. Kemoche kesom biikab boror chebune komosotet oribgei amun kakonam koye kalbatisiek chekiyakinde yotet. Kemoche kesom biikab boror koribgei. Nonon kityo ko korokutiet agenge nemiten en kokwotinwek chemuche kinyoru ak tesetai ripot kebendi keyoe assessment en kokwotinwek keker nyasutik chemuche kobit en kokwotinwekyok. Noton kemwoen biikab boror kasarta neuni komiten robwek, miten maranet, komiten komoswek chekiyaak kekerchi tugun cheu chonitet chemuche komiten nyasutik chebo maranet kou Kapsasurwa en olimbo Danai, komosin bo Sigor Kaplondon. Kemoche kele ongeribgei en kasarwek cheu chu chebwone robwek keribgei asikobit komakinyoru nyasutik cheu chetam kobo kawaida.
Kakilumda en bitab raini kabartaet noton naat ko Jenga Expo en taonit noton nebo Eldoret. Koret agenge nebo kinoisechi biikab emet kotiengei ak teksetab korik choton chesuldoen serikali chemiten ngwony olienyin.
Kondochin eng igorta nebo Jenga Expo nekotoigei eng taonitab Eldoret, county noton nebo Uasin Gishu, komwa Governor Jonathan B. Chelilim kole ibu kamanutiet igoratak amu ikochin boroindo biikab emet kokuyo missing akobo boisionik cheisuldo serikalitab emoni missing ko chetinyegei ak teksetab korik.
We realize our county is growing very fast and there are many investors trying to find get the opportunities from this county. And what we are looking for really is the affordable housing and actually owning property. People should own land here, they should own houses, they should own homes, and they should do business. What is happening here is people are trying to show exactly what is happening on the ground and what we have. Ours is to, hamasisha raia kwamba inawezekana sisi tukuwe na nyumba hapa Eldoret. We are seeing what's happening affordable housing. There are private developers, while there are real estate wako hapa, wale ma innovators wengine. So Eldoret is a place to be, especially at this time where we are growing. We want to grow with our business people. We want to grow with the dwellers of the city.
Kama jalilim eng kibagenge ak State Department noton nebo housing kole tiemei serikalitab county noton nebo Uasin Gishu konoisechi biikab emet kochigil ak kokuyo kamanutietab teksetab korik chotok chebo aliet nemite ng'ony.
Affordable housing is so real, and nimetoka hapa saizi wamesema ile hapa Onia inaenda mbio sana, so wale watu ambao wangependa kuishi Paonea, tafadhali, kuna speed yenye wanachukua hiyo iko juu sana. Kidiwa tayari ile ingine almost, and then they are coming for the second phase ya Kidiwa. Kuna ile Eldoret City 2500 units coming up pamoja na ile AMS. So hapa sasa Eldoret inakuwa kitu kingine. In the next 10 years utauliza kwetu ilikuwa wapi hapa, because things are coming up, infrastructure is growing up. And of course the road network, again we are working on it. Tumeona barabara ya Pandaptai imekuwa kitumbua sana, sasa inatengenezwa. So kuna maendeleo Uasin Gishu, kuna maendeleo Eldoret. Hata umeona watu ya hoteli hapa. There are quite a number of them, and we want to urge our people to go 24-hour economy.
Kubun kibagenge ne chikili tuguk chotok chekiboisie eng teksosiek anan Material Testing and Research Directorate kobo kamanut eng biikab emet kochikil tuguk chotok chekiboisie eng teksosiek eng noton nebo kekanapta kamugetab teksosiek.
We test them for quality so that we make sure that the materials delivered for construction they are of quality, so that we improve safety and we save lives, and also we save the cost of construction. Besides testing, we also advise on the usage of materials in all the infrastructure, both in building, bridges, and also in road construction.
Mwae icheket kole chikiletab tuguk chotok chekiboisie eng teksosiek korok kobo kamanut amu kirindoi nyasutik mising ko eng teksoitab korik chotok chemite barak.
First thing you have to do, you check the quality of that material if it meets maybe building construction or road works before you do anything. Then that one will help you to know whether the material meets the standard specification. Yes.
Kong'eteke taonit neo nebo Eldoret eng county nebo Uasin Gishu, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyu ko Isaac Kogei.
Kakokoito kurset rubeiwotab President Kithure Kindiki koityi kibagenge chebo serikali komuch kobois tugul eng kibagenge asikomuch kobit pandaptai nebo emet.
We require convergence without interfering with any independent institution. We must find ways of the entire government facilitating, each arm facilitating the other to realize his vision. Parliament playing its role, the executive playing its role, the judiciary helping us by not also dragging government programs, and that discussion is ongoing and is making a lot of progress so that instead of, for example, of a case that is a public interest matter involving huge government programs and investments of public funds being delayed for 10, 20 years, we are asking the judiciary that we do not require a favorable judgment. Let the judgment be on merit, but please let the judgment be made fast enough so that we can decide whether to free the resources to other programs or not, other than holding it back in endless injunctions, conservatory orders, and other things until it is disposed of 20 years after the fact. Independent institutions and offices are independent in 4 aspects. First, decisional independence, that you have the independence to make decisions without interference from any authority or quarters. The decisions you make on who to prosecute, which prosecution to terminate, those ones, nobody should, and no institution or should interfere with that decisional independence. Secondly, administrative independence, whereby ODPP as an independent institution must run its programs and projects administratively under the chain of command that is established. Thirdly, financial and budgetary independence. The moment you receive your resources, how you spend them, nobody should interfere with that. And finally, operational autonomy, that your operations must be independent from interference from any other quarter. Beyond that, the rest of the ground calls for interdependence, collaboration, cooperation with other arms of government so that you can deliver on your mission.
Wendi kibisi chongindo nambarenik chemiten en county nebo Baringo ko oret agenge nebo ketoret meng'ik komuch kokolso icheket kotinygei mwaat kele tesetai koboronjin kasarta nekoi noton nebo kemeut en kebeberatan.
Baringo Cluster Project, one of our irrigation schemes to irrigate more than 764 acres. It is shared between two constituencies of Mogotiu and Elder Maravin. And with me, I have the PS and the area MPs. We are on our routine checks to make sure that the people of Baringo get value for money. The project is on course and it will be of great benefit to the people of Mogotiu because we expect more than 1,000 farmers to benefit from this project. 764 acres is not a joke. And we are looking at the broader Baringo County, which is one of the largest counties in the country, more than 11,000 kilometers squared. We are also exploring the possibility of using Lake Baringo to do irrigation. And we're having a stakeholders meeting of all the leaders tomorrow to start that discussion. Because food security is one of the ministries mandated, especially on matters rice. And we owe it to build infrastructure and empower our farmers. I think His Excellency the President has made that very clear.
Ule mradi wa kutoa maji kutoka Lake Baringo kuleta hapa mlimani ndiposa tuweze kunyunyuzia ekari 100 ni mradi wa maana sana. Contractor tumezungumza na yeye, huo mradi unafaa ukamilike Februari, mwezi wa pili mwaka ujao. Na ule mradi ukikamilika, tafadhali na waomba tena wazee, kina mama, vijana na wasii sana, muhakikishe kuwa yale maji hayataishi katika yale matangi pale juu kwa sababu hayatumiki kulima. Ukulima ni njia moja ya serikali ikiongozwa na rais wetu Dr. Samuel William Ruto ya kupunguza upungufu wa chakula nchini. Na raundi hii Baringo iko kipaumbele kuhakikisha kwamba chakula kinazalishwa hapa, chakula kinalishwa hapa na chakula kinasaidia kupunguza ule food deficit yenye tuko nayo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Chitab Kalenjin kibendi en kamungenet nwach chekiweke ketestai ak tetutiet.
Kote nchini mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
Fine Touch Africa Limited inakuletea pipes za irrigation na pipes za kusambaza maji zijulikanazo kama Fine Drop HDPE pipes. Fine Touch inatengeneza pipe hizi kwa ubora wa hali ya juu na kuuza kwa bei nafuu. Fine Touch Africa pia wanahusika na pipes za drip irrigation, rain hose, sprinklers na vilevile pampu za maji. Vifaa vingine vya irrigation kutoka Fine Touch ni kama vile greenhouses, agricultural nets, dam liners, solar pumps, rain guns, planting trays, miongoni mwa vifaa vingine vya kilimo. Kwenye mji wa Nakuru tunapatikana Industrial Area nyuma ya Gido Plaza. Eldoret tunapatikana Nakuru Road baada ya daraja la Sosiani. Pia tuko Kitale, Kapsabet, Iten, Bomet, Bungoma, Nyahururu na sehemu zingine nchini. Nairobi tunapatikana eneo la Embakasi, Saku Business Park, Ili kufahamu mengi kuhusu bidhaa za Fine Touch Africa, tembelea duka la Fine Touch Africa lililo karibu nawe au utupigie simu kwa nambari 0724 615 066 au 0700 169 962. Kwenye tovuti unatupata kwenye www.finetouch.co.ke. At Fine Touch, we make it green.
En ng'wenduni kowalaksei kiy age tugul. Kit nekiyoe en betusiekab tai kotounegei Sensei College. Kiwole sobonwek keboisien kimnotetab skills chetinye chi koyaen boisionik. Kotitinye ID neng'ung ak chamet nebo iyai kit neichome koboto grade age tugul nekiinyoru en KCSE, itinye kasarta ak kamuget nebo itech karotitoeng'ung en kit neichome iyai. Kitinye courses chekonin kanetisiet ak kotesun naet chenamegei ak skills cheitinye ak cheichome chetoretin en boisionik en kasarwek chemiten tai. Tesetai Intech en Nakuru Campus ak Nairobi Campus. Asinai missing ibir simet kwa namba 0729-891-301. Karibu Sensei College, where skills meet opportunity.
Labatet nekikimite somanet. The Great Chepsaita Cross Country. Tarik 7 arawetab 12 eng Chepkemel nemi Chepsaita eng county nebo Uasin Gishu.
Kenyini ko ameche at least lagok kirwae kikochi 10,000 lagok kongete namba 1 akoi 100. Amen. 10,000 kopa account nenyi nebo school.
Tait nebo sabet eng kokwet ko somanet.
Koke substitute ngele biik eng kauli ngoek somanet taitab labatet. As you go to school, try to run so that ko benefiten biik alak.
Ageng boisietab talent ak somanet komalo eng kabwatutik chebo patron nebo labatani Faruk Kibet.
Makomi mbaret nekikoini lagok and ngekosine tugul makomi.
Ibu keljinaik labatet eng labatindet ak eng emet amakimeto Chepsaita eng keljinaik kobun labatani.
Melekto ne ibu labatani ko ngalekab somanet, labatet ak chebo medical amu ak development nikere nguno akoi kechop ortinwek.
Ngoliot no Humanist Limited ko kerge ak kito nekotoi baro kenyit konye. Kokotoi kitoi kokek kabwatutiet. No Humanist Limited kolejin in Ingereza dare to think and dare to try. So Faruk give a thought to this cross country.
Kongete tulwop kony agoi Pokot, pororiet ak emet komugul kotesetai chopchinetabgei nebo kobwa rwoik ak biikab emet eng labatani pa Chepsaita.
Watu ya West Pokot ni wakimbiaji ajabu. Tulisikia kuna hao watu wanapenda kukimbiana na ng'ombe zingine mbaya sana. So hii wakuja wakimbie na waende na pesa na ile mali italetwa hapa. Ile wakimbiaji tuko nao Tiaty, tuko nao West Pokot County, tuko nao Mungaret Uganda wa Pokot. Ngo kwa setele mita ile Chepsaita. Registration of the Great Chepsaita